serious? Are you serious? What? Yes, they push through the barriers. They pushed through the barriers. Get a cup of coffee. But it's about time that somebody stands up for the veterans. It's about time. Because Lord knows right now the United States government is bumbling and fumbling and mumbling and rumbling around, doing nothing to help the situation. What? You know something, I'm just thinking about this. First of all, here we go. Look at this. A crowd converged on the World War II memorial on the National Mall Sunday, October 13, 2013, pushing past the barriers to protest the memorial's closing under the government shutdown. Republican Senator Ted Cruz of Texas and Mike Lee of Utah, along with former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin, were part of the demonstrators. Cruz and Lee are among the Tea Party-backed lawmakers who refuse to keep the government operating unless President Barack Obama agrees to defund the nation's health care overhaul. Now, quote, let me make it simple. Let me ask you a simple question, said Senator Cruz. He told the crowd of hundreds that gathered at around 9 a.m. Sunday morning. Why is the federal government spending money to erect barriers to keep the veterans out of this memorial? What? Why? Black metal barriers have lined the front of the memorial since the government closed on October the 1st. That's when more than 300 National Park Service workers who staff and maintain the National Mall were furloughed. So as the crowd entered the Memorial Plaza, they chanted, "Tear down these walls." And "You work for us." They sang "God Bless America" and other songs. Now, our vets have proven that they have not been timid. So we will not be timid in calling out any who would use our military, our veterans, as pawns in a political game, said Sarah Palin to the crowd. The memorial has become a political symbol in the bitter fight between Democrats and Republicans over who is to blame for the shutdown. Earlier, rallies have focused on allowing the access for the World War II veterans visiting from across the country. Sunday's rally was more political. A protest by truckers converged with a rally by a group called the Million Vet March at the memorial. Participants cut the plastic links between the metal barriers at the National Park Service site and pushed them aside. Later, some protesters carried the metal barriers that looked like bicycle racks from the memorial to the White House. What? Oh, yes, they did. And they stacked them up outside the gate of the White House, confronting police in riot gear. Some protesters carried signs reading, "Impeach Obama." Police moved these protesters back to set up the barriers between the crowd and the White House gate. Some protesters chanted, "Shame on you," at the police officers. Now, the armed police vehicles also was sent to the World War II memorial as people lingered there. The District of Columbia Police said the crowd was dispersing about 1 p.m., about 4 hours after the protest began. The U.S. Park Service said there had been one arrest at the Lincoln Memorial for an assault, but it was not related to the protest, according to Lieutenant Pamela Smith. Jim Weller of Allentown, Pennsylvania said, "We came to protest, to stand up for our rights." Well, folks, this thing is starting to get ugly. It's starting to get intense. As you see, Ted Cruz continues to stand strong on behalf of the veterans. Sarah Palin as well. And, you know, I stand with the veterans. I want to tell you, I'll be honest, quite honest with you. This is just a shame. This is a scam. This has become a joke. Why is the government closed in the first place? Well, it's because it's broke, busted, and disgusted. Why can't we function? Because we're the greed and the immorality, the hidden agenda of the New World Order, to be quite honest with you. It is a one world government. It is the soon coming of the mark of the beast. When? I don't know. But they're testing the system now. They're blocking the vets. They're cutting off the food stamps to 17 states and call it a glitch. It was a deliberate shutdown. I have more information on that. In my next video, I'm going to tell you exactly why they shut it down. But what you're seeing is a stomping on the poor. They're cutting the benefits to Social Security, to the elderly, to the Medicaid system. They're trashing the vets again. Did not fund the death benefits of fallen soldiers in the war. Cut the food stamps off in 17 states without notice to millions of American families that needed help. All right? I mean, they're walking on the veterans, pushing back the elderly, shutting down the poor and access to food. It's almost like you're reading the mark of the beast. And we're going to talk all about that. But I'm telling you right now, this is not good. But it is biblical. And in my next video, I'm going to break it down for you out of Revelation. But I just want to say right now, God bless the truckers who protested. God bless the veterans that protested. God bless America. And God bless that we still got a land of freedom that we can protest, that people can stand up for what's right. And oh, by the way, I put this painting here, which was done by Tiffany Haskell of Texas. This is actually the painting that is the cover of my very first book I ever wrote, of course, the Hosea prophecy. And in the Hosea prophecy, what happened was, of course, the dead birds started falling out of the sky, the fish washed up by the millions, and the cattle started falling over dead. Well, this past week, 75,000 cows dead in South Dakota. And last night, somebody said, Paul, the report is now, it's up over 100,000 dead cows, South Dakota. You can blame it on a snowstorm if you want to, but I've seen tons of snowstorms in 51 years. I have never heard of 100,000 dead cows. And you can blame it on a little wind and rain if you want to, but there was 30,000 dead sheep in Uruguay. And you could say that it was a weird humidity if you want to in Peru, but 260,000 llama dead in Peru. You could say it was too many people were urinating in the lake in Germany, but 10,000 pounds of dead fish. You could say it was just something weird up there in Canada. Why 7,000 bald eagles went to a landfill in Vancouver, Canada, and ate the carcasses of rats. Maybe it's what Jesus said. Where the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together in as one of the signs of the end times. Maybe it's what Hosea said. Because there is no truth, there's no mercy. Hear the word of the Lord, Hosea said. Hosea chapter 4. Hear the word of the Lord, you children of Israel, for the Lord has a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there's no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. And by swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out. Blood touches blood, therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field, with the fowls of heaven, yea, and the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. Sin is what's causing the systems to break down across America and around the world. And what we need is a revival. So today, I know it's Columbus Day, and I'm just going to do a couple videos today, and I'm going to do a 1-hour show just because I'm tired. To be honest with you, I'm tired. I need to rest. It's a holiday. My wife's off today, so we're going to take some time this afternoon and just going to take some time to get some rest, okay? So God bless you. So don't miss the show. It's only 1 hour. You better get there at my website, www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. I'm on from 12 noon to 1 p.m. Eastern, 1 hour, and we will talk about what God is doing. Also, I'm going to be praying over at Vernon's conference room between 11 and 12 for an hour. So God bless. I'll be right back. Give your life to Jesus Christ. Something biblical's going on. Jim, in Critton, Kentucky, something biblical's going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. I'm serious.